The first 6 months that we worked together, he closed nothing. Now, mind you, he also came in during the best time of the last 5 years to get into real estate. And 2024 uh, for a lot of people who have been in the business for 10 years. 2023 and 24 was some of the worst years for a lot of folks. If you've been in this business for a long time, you guys know what I'm talking about. So first 6 months, he doesn't close anything. And in every month that I'm talking to him, I'm having a check-in call with him. We're focusing on the leads. We're focusing on the ads. We're focusing on the campaign. And the campaign, we're optimizing. The leads, we're optimizing. And so we get things down to the point where we're like, okay, our cost per conversation is like $70. That means I put $70 into the slot machine, and out comes a vetted person that I can talk to who's actually interested in real estate. And we got this down to $70 per. And every time I'm talking to him, Josh Wheelock is saying the same thing. Man, the leads are not ready. They're not closing. No one's serious. I thought, man, can I please can we just do like a call together? I just want to listen in on the conversation. I want to play back the most recent live call transfer that you received. And it was a buy and a sell. It was a buy and a sell. And so in my eyes, as the marketer, as the guy who sees everything on the back end, I'm thinking a buy and a sell is that's a great opportunity, right? And Josh says, oh, no, we don't even need to listen to that call. He's not serious. And so I said, well, can we just listen to it together? So we listened to it. And the guy's moving because he's got his father's dying, and he wants to be closer to his father. And so he has to sell his house. And he's an engineer, has a low debt to income. And so he wants to move across town to be with his father. Motivation is there, and he's talking about the way he's talking on the call is the way that he's talking on the call is that this move has to happen like in the next 90 days because I want to be with my father, and so he listens to the call. And at the end of the call, he's sitting here like this. I didn't coach him on anything. I didn't pause. I didn't give him any tips along the way. I just listen to the call. And at the end of the call, he said, holy shit, Sean, I am talking way too damn much. I'm not listening. I'm just talking. And over the next 6 months, the same leads with the same campaign, while using the same strategy, except this time, Josh was doing a little bit more listening than he was talking. And over the next 6 months, he closed 8 transactions using the same leads, using the same process, and nothing changed except for his approach. And so that's why we have these live call transfer review Thursdays. Again, if you guys have any catchy names, please put them in the chat because that's a mouthful. But this is why we have these calls, okay? And so that we can get better, and so that if you are one of those people that is saying the same thing over and over again, and you're putting in your reps. Everyone says call your dang leads. You're putting in your reps, but something's not changing. You're like, the people aren't calling me back. I'm not hitting numbers like the other guy because the other guy's doing something different. And the other guy probably had feedback. And the other guy probably had someone pouring into him and said, hey, dingus, you're saying it wrong. And because you've been saying it wrong this whole time, you didn't get 100 reps. You just repeated the same mistake 100 times. Right? And so that's why we have these calls. So I'm going to pull up a call here. Give me just a moment.
Hi, I'm speaking to.
So I got 2 calls here. my screen. Do this instead. Sorry, there's always a brief delay transition. I want to respect people's privacy. All right. Now, a couple things to note here before I start this call. So I noticed a couple things. One, the call is only 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes long. All right. If we have only 4 minutes to talk to a prospect, we don't want to spend those 4 minutes, 3 of those 4 minutes, talking about what their best email is. Okay, you can confirm information, but know that that information is going to be sent to you. Okay, if you receive this from us, then you guys are going to receive that, so that you guys can just focus on building a relationship, building rapport. Okay, so let's listen. Now, by the way, guys, this is my first time listening to this call, so we don't script these. We keep this raw and open. All right.
Hey, trying to figure out help. Hi, I'm speaking to Omar.
Who's that?
Hi, Mr. Omar. My name is Joe. Real estate assistant with business. You were looking for some houses in Greenville, is that right?
Yeah.
We'll love to send you some properties for you to explore your options. So I think you're looking for 3 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, is that right?
Yeah.
Are you looking for a single family home, a townhouse?
Big family.
Single family. What's the price you're looking for?
I'm trying to rent all right now.
Trying to rent home, okay. How much your monthly rent would be?
1,100.
1,100, okay. And you're looking to move maybe the next 3 to 6 months?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Omar, we only have homes for sale, but we could definitely have someone from our lending team help you with some options to buy a home. Similar to what you're paying for your monthly rent. Are you considering that as well?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to, I do actually want to buy a house.
Because with the lending team, they will tell you how much you can qualify for and how much you would pay for a monthly mortgage. So we'll try to figure out some options that will be similar to what you pay for your monthly rent. Is that something?
Would you better use my VA loan?
Definitely, that would be perfect. Since you're veteran, VA loans would help you get some leverage to get approved for a loan. Is it a good time for our lender to speak to you?
Yeah.
All right, hold on one second, please. Thank you.
Okay, I want to pause right here. So you guys saw that take a bunch of quick turns, right? He mentions rent to own, but then our appointment setter mentioned, well, do you mind, have you ever considered talking to a lender and see that your monthly mortgage or whatever you're paying in rent, you might actually be able to cover in a mortgage. And the guy said, yes, I'm interested. And then he brought up the fact that he can use his VA. Great. So it's almost like a whiplash of events, right? The thing about these internet leads is that these guys are complete strangers, and they don't, most of the time, what I see, 3 out of 5 of these guys don't know what to expect. They may have already purchased a house in the past, but things, it might have been 2020 and things were moving fast. Or the last time that they bought a house was 2006 or 2005 or 2004, and things were moving a little fast and loose back then. And so things have changed. Things are different now. And because things are changed and things are different, the onus of education, believe it or not, falls on us. It has to fall on us. And so, so when someone mentions rent to own, an agent who's been burnt in the past, an agent who has wasted their time in the past, is going to be very quick to say, oh, rent to own? Sorry, I can't help you. Bye. A professional is going to say, I'm curious why rent to own is important. What are you looking for a rent to own? I'm curious why rent to own is important, right? I'm coming from a place of curiosity, because based on their answer is going to tell me which direction I can take this in. Well, I'm looking for rent to own because I foreclosed on my house a year ago. It's like, oh, okay, all right, I see why you're doing it now. Or I'm looking for a rent to own because I don't think my credit's good enough. Interesting. Why do you think your credit's not good enough? Well, my credit's X, Y, it's 630 or it's 645. Okay. And? Or my credit score is 600 and I heard that I needed a 640. Or I heard I needed a 660. Or I heard I needed a 670. Or I heard insert blank. And now I'm talking to the lenders in the room. You guys know how to answer that question. You guys know how to handle that conversation and educate them. And for my agents in the room, you guys know that you're not supposed to be the one to have that conversation. But notice how we didn't change it. We changed the conversation from a realtor conversation to, well, it sounds very obvious that you need to speak with my lender. It sounds very obvious, like very apparent that you need to speak with my lender. So my point in all of this, these internet leads don't know. And they're going to give you objections. And if you take all of their objections at face value, like if you take it as concrete, is what I mean to say, then you're going to lose a lot of business. But if you come from a place of curiosity, you'll find out a whole lot more, and you can put together and become a deal engineer. You can become the guy who gets known to get the deal done. Okay, so what it sounded like, first off, we tried to call the lender, right? The lender didn't answer, so we called the agent. Now know that when you have a lender on your account, this is how the order of operations goes. So based on preference, 9 times out of 10, we're always gonna preference the agent. We want the agent to get connected to the buyer ASAP. Now, if the agent doesn't answer and they mention that they're unsure of what their purchasing power is, our fallback is the lender. Okay, and the same is true when it works the opposite way. So if in this case we attempted to make a live call transfer to the lender didn't pick up because that was what we suggested first based on the context. And now we push for the agent as a fallback. And the reason why, guys, that we want to keep this guy on the hook, on the line, number one, your finance partner should be exactly that. They should be your partner. So if they receive a lead from you, they shouldn't be farming that lead out to any other agent. And they should know that it came from you, right? 2, 50% of your transactions that come through this process, more than 50%, are going to come from a live call transfer. The other 50% are going to come through emails, text communication where the team is communicating through SMS. But 50% of them are going to come through live call transfers where we have someone on the line. When you reject that call, if you don't take that call, your chances of getting that person back on the phone drops by more than 60%. And what do I mean by that? So that means, like, let's say ring, I call James, James doesn't answer. And then I tell the lead, hey, my agent James is with another client right now. Can she call you back, or can he call you back at 5 o'clock today? And of course the lead's going to be polite and say, yes, have James call me back at 5 o'clock today. But here's what happens. As soon as we get off the phone, that person looks on Google and opts into another person's campaign. And I'm telling you, I see it happen too many times. And so when we talk about take the live call transfer, even if it's for just a couple minutes, which it sounds like this agent is going to take, it looks like the conversation is only 2 minutes long. Highly suggest take the conversation, take the call anyways, and politely set next steps, even if you're busy, okay? Just so that you can put a voice to a name. It's powerful, okay? Does that make sense, guys? Can I get an amen? Preach? Something like that?
How are you?
All right.
Okay, so tell me a little bit what's going on. Based on what he was saying that, okay, you want to use your VA loan and you want to see how much you qualify for. Okay.
Yeah.
What areas are you looking at?
Fayetteville.
Okay. Now, you probably transfer me to one of our VA lenders, but I have another one that I would like to transfer you to see if we can get you qualified, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second, okay? Just to see if I can get that person on the line.
Okay. Real quick, first 30 seconds. What feedback do you guys have for me? For that agent? For that agent? First 30 seconds.
I would let them talk.
Yeah, it seemed like a lack of personal connection and a rush to get to pre-approval as opposed to getting to know the individual.
1,000%. I was really hoping someone was going to bring that up. 1,000%. 1,000%. Getting to know the person. Again, putting a voice to a name. Getting to know that person. This person is, I know we call them leads, but these are people. At the end of the day, these are humans. These are folks trying to find a house. And you guys remember you tried to find a house? You guys remember what that experience was like? Remember the first one that you did? Some of us are on our 5th, 6th, 7th home at this point, 10th home, 15th home at this point. So we get it. But do you remember what it was like? So getting to know that person, wow, yeah, I most certainly felt that too. That's the energy that I felt is okay. We don't really need to talk about anything else until you talk to my lender. Now, guys, for those of you who are in the room doing 50 transactions a year, I get why you might talk to people like that sometimes. I understand. You're doing 50 transactions a year, you're doing 20, 25 million, 30 million a year, you're making $500,000 in GCI. I get it. I get it. Totally get it. You're not going to talk me or convince me otherwise. I get it. But for those who are not at the goal that they want to be, take a minute, build rapport, because I promise you'll do a lot more business. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so again, James, I love you, man. I love you. I felt it. Yeah. Womp, womp, womp. You already have their information. You already have their contact details, right? You got this person on the line. This person is going to go and sign with you on a multi-six-figure, or if you're in like someone like Daniel's or Jesse's market or Harperman market, you got a 7-figure transaction that this person is entrusting you with. Build a little rapport, have a conversation, get their trust, right? When we talk about pain, doubt, cost, desire, money, support, trust, when I talk about money, instead of it being an interrogation, we're painting a picture. Money, when I talk about some agents make the entire conversation about money, this is what I'm referring to. Okay? And I know in Fayetteville, oh my gosh, you can buy properties for like 200, 250. Like it's a cheaper market than Huntsville. Like you could buy a decent property for 300, and so long as this guy has a W-2 income, low DTI, I mean, I see this like being a win unless there's something hidden, in his closet that we don't know about, right? A foreclosure, whatever. What are your guys' thoughts here? Because that was it. They wrap up The last 10 seconds. So on the next, you're coming in like really like far away. I know you guys are all in one room. What was that on the next?
Muted now.
Yeah, you want to just hand him your computer? 'Cause I think you got. Going once.
I'm back.
There you go. Okay. All right. What were you saying?
No, I was saying that I think you have to make an effort to get connected to people and build a rapport. Because even if that client is in a position to buy, sometimes you have to turn someone down. You know, personalities don't match, the way they look at things, their values, things don't plan out. And from the get-go, you have to make an effort to build that rapport. Start building that relationship first and foremost.
100%. You know, I heard this from a lender once. They said realty is a popularity contest. Would you guys agree with that? It's of course, there's a lot more nuance to that, but would you guys agree? It's almost like a popularity contest. The person who's the most popular tends to win.
Yeah,
The one who's most well known.
So building the brand, right? You want people to get to see you and know you without ever talking to you.
Now, a question for you guys: Have you ever talked to a veteran in this business who's been doing it for 15 years, 10, 20 years, and they're doing easily 3, 4, 500,000 a year in GCI? And you ask them, where are you getting all your business? You know, like, what's the magic? And they're like, oh, I'm getting my business from referrals. And you're like, how? Like, okay, but I'm doing the math here, and like, the math ain't mathing. Like, it doesn't make sense. How are you getting all of your business from referrals? And guys, what I've come to find out when you really interview those folks, the parallel that you'll draw in any market, in any other market, these top producers, all of them are building friendships everywhere they go with everyone that they meet. And everyone knows that they're a real estate agent. So Daniel, if I'm visiting you, if I'm coming to visit you, and so I'm coming to your neck of the woods, I am a guest, you are the host. I want to eat Mexican food. Where are we going, Daniel? What's that place?
You want quick and dirty? You want fancy?
Where would you take your friend?
I would take you to El Camino in Las Olas. 2 miles of the best shopping and probably some of the cheapest, best tacos and delicious margaritas you can have between 4:30 and 7.
Okay, that's where we're going next time. All right, El Camino.
Yeah.
All right.
So really boxy on Friday for a diet.
So El Camino. So that's the place. If Daniel, in the last 30 days, did El Camino do any crazy like advertisement to you?
Zero.
In the last 30 days, did El Camino cold call you?
No.
So when I
they warmly served me. They didn't cold call.
Right. Well, so when I'm asking the question out loud, where are we going for this place? You instantly had a name. Instantly. And when I talk to these top producers, these people who have been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years, and you ask them, how are you doing 300,000 a year based on referrals? It's because they hold that place, they hold the El Camino place in their head when they think of who's my agent? Who's my agent? They immediately think of that person. Now, does that mean that you have to, who's ever gotten a referral from someone who you didn't close with? A friend, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, someone from college, right? So these top producers, they all befriend anyone that they engage with. They befriend anyone that they talk to. Because if that person plans on re-upping his lease, but I befriend him and I educate him on what to do next when the time comes, when his buddies having a conversation about buying a house, he's like, hey man, do you know any real estate agents? And believe me, that actually comes up. You're going to be the El Camino in their head. They're going to instantly think of you. So my promise every day, every meeting, each one of these meetings, is that you guys are going to know more than you knew coming into the call, and you're going to know how to apply it in your business that same day. Did you guys feel like you got some value from today's call? So anyone that feels like I didn't hold up to my promise, don't raise your hand. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, guys, I've been out this whole week because my 1-year-old had a tumor behind his nose that was removed on Monday. Thank God he's doing fine. He's doing great. He's in great spirits. So I want to thank you guys for showing up today. I want to thank you guys for being present. And tomorrow, well, we'll be back. Same thing on Friday. We're going to recap the whole week. I want to say also thank you guys for reaching out. For those of you who prayed, I really appreciate it because he's doing fantastic. So, all right, guys. With that being said, keep being awesome. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow and on the level of power. See you.